Hi everyone, Tom Vogel, Wrestling's Finest, Pro Wrestling PC game, which I believe, biased of course, that it's the best wrestling game on the market for those who want an in-depth, very detailed pro wrestling game that is not like a grins and giggles type game. I know there's a lot of quick play type games out there, and if that's your preference, knock yourself out, but you're not going to get that with Wrestling's Finest. This is going to be a true skills versus skills type match. So this video, I'm going to continue kind of what I started on the other one, and that is going through the ratings of wrestlers to kind of show you the detail that goes into the ratings, and also to kind of help you understand what we try to do with each wrestler. Our goal is to rate each wrestler how they were booked, not if we liked them or hated them, but how they were booked, with wins and losses. But more importantly, can we capture their style? Does that wrestler feel like the wrestler we all watch performing? If you're playing Wrestling's Finest and you're having a match, and you can kind of close your eyes, and if someone was to read to you the play-by-play as it went on, can it take you back in time, and can you just picture the wrestler doing exactly what he's doing in Wrestling's Finest? That's our ultimate goal with every wrestler. We take great pride in our ratings. John, Michael the Black Tiger, one and the same there, Glenn, all have done, just fabulous job of rating. Bob Jinkerson, Ed Kapler, have chipped in with some ratings, but it takes a lot of time, effort, and study to make our ratings. It's not just something you sit down and crank one out in 5 minutes. It's a long, drawn-out process. So let me show you real quick Abdullah. I said if you want to look at a wrestler's card, you just click his name. The previous video, if you hopefully watched it so you know what we're talking about, is Abdullah the Butcher. I wanted to show you a few things on his card before I went to CM Punk. Mainly look at the 17, the 59-6, and the 0 to 69. Okay, now let's go to CM Punk. You'll notice CM Punk's a 14, -2. His stamina is 10 points higher than Abdullah's, and his second rating's a 5. That is so much better than being a 6, because each time he hits that 69, his first 2 pin ratings will go up by 5. Excuse me, and his counters will, for specialty moves, will be reduced by 5 each time he's tired, as where Abdullah will be at 6. That's one number is a huge difference. You'll also notice here CM Punk gets 7 strategy cards, where Abdullah only received 4, and his wisdom's a 14, where I believe Abdullah was maybe a 6. Successful holds, Abdullah was a 69, CM Punk's a 72. Those 3 numbers are huge. Cut, he's only a 5. Because kind of in that era of wrestling, you didn't see as much blood. He does have an injury rating of 3. He's also a heel because you don't see an asterisk by his 95. Now, before I click control, remember Abdullah's hammering was 00 to 59. Okay, CM Punk's is 49, and of those 49 numbers, 28 would be considered legal. Let's go look at his legal, see if we can kind of get a style for Mr. CM Punk. 1 to 4 arm holds. That's, he does them quite a bit. He has throws, drags. He utilizes the speed moves where Abdullah didn't. Abdullah had several nerve holds where CM Punk only has 1. CM likes to work on the neck. 13 to 16, 4 numbers there. I think that's part of it. And this is an example here of trying to capture what a guy does. And the reason I bring this up is his main specialty is the go to sleep. And part of it when he does is he jars the guy's neck. So it's common sense that CM Punk's going to work on his opponent's neck. Just like, if you go back to the old school guys like Ric Flair, he's going to work on the leg. A wrestler who uses a figure 4 or a leg type submission is going to do a lot of leg holds. A wrestler that, is going to try to get, you don't have a lot of them, but if you're trying to get like an arm submission, you're going to see a lot of arm holds. So if you continue down CM Punk's card, neck holds, then we have whipping the ropes, which isn't a lot, only has one headbutt, only has 2 chops. CM Punk only has 1 power move. So not really going to utilize that a lot. He does like to throw the forearms 26 to 30, and he likes to do the elbow. To his stamina off, nothing outstanding, a lot of 4s, but it is 6 off for the neck, and his neck holds at 37. One mistake here I'm going to have to correct. We have speed moves -4. We don't have a control rating, so we have a typo on his card. I'm going to have to go in and put in, that will be a 35. But you have neck holds 37, you have forearms 37, and you have elbow smash 37. Not always, but typically the more numbers you have for a hold means you're going to do that hold more, and therefore you're going to have more or higher control rating. His counters, nothing special. 4, 4, 9's kind of high for the counter or speed because he's quick, but not nothing out of the ordinary. In fact, slightly above average. His power moves is only a 2. New style wrestlers, we don't have very many pin attempts for non-specialty moves, because if you watch, wrestling over the, currently or over the last few years, I don't know this for a fact, but, when I watch it, I would say well over 95% of your matches, when a wrestler wins by pin or submission, it is with a specialty move. So we're trying to create that same situation with Wrestling's Finest, so you will not see near as many pin attempts from non-specialty moves with new style wrestlers. All right, so back here, the 49, so any hammer and hold 29 to 49 is going to be illegal. And CM will use the choke, about 8 of those. Nothing else really stands out, pretty basic, average. He does have 3 low blows, and he does have 13 punch holds. So he does utilize the punch. You'll notice his specialty moves are 35 to 40. New style guys get a little bit of higher rating, but here's what to remember. This 35 to 40 is a direct tie-in to the 00 to 49. So Abdullah was 00 to 59, and his specialty moves were 37. So something to keep in mind there. I want to show you here again, counters aren't anything special. CM has a higher counter for the, for the hair pull, just because he kind of had shorter hair. Now let's go back to his control, and you'll see we have headlocks. He likes to use the kicks. You'll notice here, I'll get to that in a second, I'm sorry. Body slam, only 4, 5 suplexes. He does like to use the ropes, 7 numbers. He has 1 pile driver, 4 pin holds. Looks like 6 submission moves. Now, these are just wear down moves, because you do get to take 5 off, and they're designed to basically take stamina off your opponent. You'll notice here his auto control rating is the same as Abdullah's, a 17 -2. Since both of them have a -2, that means they'll reduce their opponent. So Abdullah's a -2. That means CM Punk will now be a 15, and the same will be for Abdullah. You'll notice here the pin attempts, 40, 40, 39. That means for body slam and suplex, you have to either turn a 39 or 40, only 2 chances. Same for ropes, pile driver, and pin holds, because they just didn't get a lot of pins, hardly ever, with non-specialty moves. You'll notice his stamina off, pretty good numbers. Remember Abdullah was 80 to 90 here? He's only 87 to 93, and his numbers, instead of being 27-27, and I believe it was 8-7, he's only a 19-15 and a 5-3, and his double DQ is only a 4-2. So he will be disqualified way, way less often than Abdullah. And instead of having outside ring 91 to 99 with a 34 here, His is only 94 to 99, and it's a 27-23. In matches, the default is the wrestler will always use this second rating, the 15, the 23, the 3, and the 2. Reason is it just limits the number of DQs we have. If you go out to the far left and look at his counters, he has for Hammer, and it's a 17 AA, where Abdullah was a 15 AA. And with Abdullah, due to his size, his body slam, suplex, pile driver, and pinholds were all in the low to mid to upper 20s. CM Punk, you'll see, are a lot lower. His body slam counter is only a 9. His suplex is an 11. And his specialty counters aren't great. They're pretty much average, to be honest. Nothing real outstanding when it comes to his counters. Now, his hammering, AA, the suplex, and body slam AAs are really good, but he does have a lot of Bs. A lot of the new style guys take a lot of punishment, so that's why you're going to see the specialty counters maybe not quite as high. Control ratings, again, 36, 37, but his body slam is only 29, suplex is 30, ropes is 36, pile driver 37, which are very good. So, when you look at CM Punk, when you look at the style, again, you're going to see neck holds, forearms, elbows, and he's going to use some arm holds and throws, drags, and we get to the illegal. It's choking mainly and punches. Let's go to his specialty moves. These are very different than the non-new style guys. You'll see he has a bulldog, his go to sleep, flying elbow, anaconda vice, which is a submission hold, and a foreign object. What you'll notice here for the bulldog, he has 13 numbers, control 37. He'll try to pin his opponent if it's 8 to 40, 11 up. But you'll notice you only get to add one number to his opponent's first 2 pin numbers. The reason that is when you watch current style wrestling now or in the past few years, you'll see that very rarely do wrestlers use their non-main finisher to win a match. I call them show specialty moves, kind of like Roman Reigns' Superman punch. Rarely, if ever, do you see him pin anybody with it. He pins everybody with the spear. So what we want to do is try to let wrestlers, like in this case CM Punk, still get to do his show me moves, because when fans come to the matches, they want to see these show me moves. So you'll see him get to do them, but he won't typically get to pin his opponent. Now, if you look at his second move, the go to sleep, 12 to 56, that's 45 numbers. If he lands it, you'll see it's an AA. It's a body slam move, AA, which means he does it very well. He would get to add 14, 12 to the first 2 pin numbers of his opponent. And if his opponent's been tired a couple times, that will make his pin rating go through the roof. So let's look at Abdullah over here. You can see him over here where my cursor is. Say he's tired twice. So that means you're going to add 12 to his first 2 numbers. 6 times, 6 twice. So you're going to have 41, 41, 2. Well, since those first 2 numbers go over 40, that now makes it 40, 44. Okay, so that means the first 2 numbers are automatic unless ropes comes up, which can occur. If CM Punk lands this move, a 14 and a 12, they're automatically going to go to the 3rd number because the first 2 are already at 40. So if he's 40, 44, you're going to add another 14 plus 12, which is 26, to the 4. So you're going to have 40, 40, 30. So doing the math, he has a 75% chance he's going to pin Abdullah. Now, again, Abdullah could somehow make it to the ropes. He could play a strategy card to get to the ropes. So, there are ways he could kick out, but basically if Abdullah's going to straight kick out, he would have to turn a 31 through 40, otherwise he's pinned. That's why, again, that second stamina rating is 6 for Abdullah is terrible. Terrible! So this here is a real good example of a new style card compared to like Abdullah. So let me just show you something here, and then I'm going to show you Abdullah. You'll see, control 38 for the go to sleep. He tries to pin him if the number's 4 to 40, 15 off. Then we have the flying elbow drop. Controls 37, pin attempt 6, minus 14 for the stamina. The Anaconda Vice, he gets 25 numbers, and then he's going to be in control out of 40 numbers, 39 of them. His attempted submission is a 3, and these are the numbers you're going to add to his opponent's submission rating. Typically, you'll see Abdullah's, even if he was in his, he'd got tired twice, like I said, you'd add 12 and 12, so it'd be 21, 19. So if you added the 22 and 21 and 0, it'd be, I believe, 43, 40, 0, so it would go to 40, 43. So you'd basically have a 3 out of 40 chance Abdullah would submit if he was in his second level and if Siem landed this move. Submissions occur in wrestling's finest. I truly believe they occur more than people think. But I'm old school on the submissions. You didn't see them a lot back in the 70s and like early to even mid 80s. You really had to wear your opponent down before you got a submission. And that's how it is with wrestling's finest. You can get them, but you really have to work your opponent, down. And you have to have a good, specialty move. If you just have like a Jesse Ventura, backbreaker, that's okay. He's not going to make a lot of people submit with that. But, somebody who has, like the Kokomo clutch or Coquina clutch, by Samoa Joe, excellent move. You have Vern Gagne's sleeper hold. A lot of great submission moves out there that are reflected in the game, but you still have to wear your opponent down. So, but what I want to show you here is we're going to exit out of this, but remember these 1-1s here. When you go back to Abdullah's card and you go to his specialty, you'll notice he had his other moves, his karate thrust and his clothesline. You'll see how he has a little bit more chance of pinning his opponent, because back in the old school, you would see on occasion him pinning an opponent, not using his butcher's axe elbow drop. One thing I want to show you here, so I forgot to explain this earlier, foreign object. If you do a foreign object, you go to the foreign object chart, and that number, the 10 there, that's what you would add to the number turn. The 10 is as high as you can go, so Abdullah is the best at it. Let me go back to CM Punk here. His foreign object, he's an 8, which is still real good. In most cases, he's going to get to attempt pin his opponent, and look at what you get to add, 22, 18, and 1. So if you have your opponent really tired and wore down and you land a specialty foreign object move, there's a very good chance you're going to get a pin him. Very good. Want to show you something here in control, made me think of it. Illegal pin ratings of 8 for CM Punk. I think Abdullah was a 7. What happens on some pin attempts? There will be a chance for a wrestler to attempt a legal pin using ropes. Puts his feet up on the ropes, grabs his opponent's trunks. Referee makes a fast count. If he elects to do that, in a lot of the cases, he'll get to add extra pin numbers because he's gained extra leverage. That makes it maybe a little easier to pin his opponent. However, there's also a pretty good chance the referee will catch the pin attempt, and if he does, he stops the pin account, and you have to go back to original control. So you want to be careful when you try an illegal pin, because if you already have a really good chance of pinning your opponent, you might not want to risk the chance of the referee catching it. Think of it sneaking into the cookie jar. You already had a few, and you got a couple more on your plate, but you want to go steal a few before your mom catches you. If she catches you, not only don't you get those cookies, you might have to give your other ones back, and you might get sent to your room. So is it really worth it if you already have 4 or 5 cookies on your plate? Maybe, maybe not. Just depends if you're, what you want to try to accomplish. But that's kind of how it works with an illegal pin. Sometimes it makes a very tough decision. If your opponent's pin rating is 40, 40, 20, and you have an illegal pin opportunity, if you go for it and it's very successful, you have a chance to make your opponent's pin rating maybe 40, 40, 35, but there's also a good chance the referee can catch it, and then the whole pin attempt is thrown out. So, tough call. The higher your illegal pin rating is, the better chance you have it being successful, and the less chance the referee will catch it. The higher, the better. So anyway, that's CM Punk's there, his rating of 8. If we go back to the player again, this is kind of the basis of the card, because once you determine which wrestler's in control, you then turn 2 cards. You get a 0 through 9 number, so it's anywhere from 00 to 99, and it will fall in either one of these 3 categories, or it will fall in none of them, meaning the wrestler didn't seize advantage of being in control, so the process would start over again to see who's in control. If a successful hold occurs, then you're going to turn a 00 to 99 to get the hold here. If auto control loss comes up, what happens is you made a mistake, or your opponent forced you to make a mistake, he now assumes control. So let's say CM Punk turns a 78, he loses control to Abdullah, and now Abdullah would turn 2 cards to see where it falls on. So you could have it go back and forth a little bit. If it falls under fan interaction, we have a fan interaction chart for a heel or a face. And if it doesn't fall, like I said, in any one of these 3, then it goes back to original control. That's why here you have a 69, CM Punk's 72. However, notice here Abdullah's a 75, 88, and a 5. Let's check out CM Punk. This is the experience factor. CM Punk's a 75 to 88, and he's a 3. So the difference between the 5 and the 3 is a 2, and that's in Abdullah's favor. So he actually gets to add 2 more numbers to CM Punk's auto control loss. So now it becomes a 75 to 90. Meaning CM Punk's going to make a lot more mistakes based on the fact Abdullah forces the airs and he has the experience factor. Some wrestlers have anywhere from 0 to a 5. Most of them have at least a 1 or a 2. And many of them have 5. And if they're going up against a guy who only has a 2 or even a 1, he's going to force that other wrestler into a lot of mistakes. So that second rating is very important to have. Just like I'd mentioned earlier, the auto control rating, again, very good number to have. Some wrestlers will have like a 20 minus 2, which means if they get in control, look out. They're going to go on a long, or quite possibly can go on a long run of stringing together 5, 6, 7, 8 successful holds in a row. And if they have that minus rating, that means that's going to reduce their opponent's first number, which means they're going to limit how many moves in a row their opponent can do. So again, a very, very important rating. I think that's going to wrap it up for tonight. Again, sometimes these go a little longer, but I hope you're able to pick up a little information on this. Again, the main reason I wanted to show you this was, 1, show you how detailed the ratings are. 2, kind of show how they interact, not only just on their card, but how they interact with their opponent. And 3, kind of what goes into rating a wrestler and how we rate a wrestler to try to capture his style, his unique style. Some wrestlers are very, very hard to do that with. Some are very, very easy, and that's why we continue to tweak wrestlers as we watch more video of them. Thanks to my friend John, all the DVDs he provides me. Through the years, I've watched, countless wrestler comps, maybe 20 DVDs of Ted DiBiase, and by the time I'm done, I can go in and make some tweaks to them. I know Ed, Big Buddy Rose fan, he's been able to, watch tremendous amount of Buddy Rose matches, and then he offered some suggestions for tweaking the card. And we're always trying to just fine-tune that card as much as we can. We're very proud of the ratings. We only rate wrestlers if we get enough information. You know, we're not going to guess. Every wrestler has to have a minimum of 3 specialty moves, and we always, hopefully we can get 5. But, you know, most of them probably have 4 or 5. But if we can get 3, we will go with it. You know, YouTube's our friend. We find a lot of stuff, and I'm an avid collector not only of wrestling videos, mainly from John, but of wrestling books, you know, to find out as much information I can of wrestlers to help with the ratings. So I think I've rambled enough. Really appreciate you taking, looks like almost 26 minutes of your life you won't get back to join me on this video. Again, hope it was somewhat helpful. We'll be doing some more of these in the near future, but again, thank you very much for joining in with me with Wrestling's Finest PC Game. This is Tom Vogel bidding everybody a good night. Thank you again, everyone.